Hey, I'm Matt Raj, and I'm going to talk to you today about technology. Now, technology covers so much stuff we don't even think about every day, but it affects our everyday lives. And in the industry, it impacts us in so many ways that without it, where would the industry be? The industry wouldn't be. Now, when you think about, live performances, I doubt you think about the technology that goes into it. Lousy kids with their rock music. It is what it is, and it's how it's going to be. But that's not true. People are constantly inventing new softwares that people are figuring out new ways to use. For instance, when Final Cut came out, I doubt that their main thought in mind was that DJs were going to use their stuff to splice up different things, and, have cartoons and stuff going on with their dance music. But it's what's happening, and people are doing different things and figuring out how to use their stuff to integrate it into their live shows. Now, to talk about lighting, when all this started and people started performing, they had very, very basic ways of lighting things. They built the stages so that the sun would shine the light right on them. And then they also had things like candles and simple torches and stuff like that. Later came gas lighting, and that was the birth of, lighting effects as we started to know them today, and it made things a lot easier. Then later, the electrical lights came out, and that was the birth of lighting movement. Those were very hot also, and they were very noisy. So, it complicated things that way. And then finally, the Verilight came out, and that was, they moved around. You could start programming them. You did all sorts of fancy stuff with those guys. And I think we have come an awfully long way. Back in the day, you would have had to make every noise you wanted to make from where you're making it. But these days, you can just play sounds off of a database or something like that. There are actually bands out there today who have people that are actually a designated, MacBook player. And that's all they do in the band. They're in charge of all the sounds and stuff like that. And where would we have been without that stuff? We couldn't have ever performed things we're performing now without this technology. And with softwares like Virtual DJ, I don't want to say you were limited with the old forms, with your LPs and whatnot, but with a digital platform, you have so many more things at your fingertips. It's quicker, and you can have the stuff on hand. You don't need to file through stuff. If you want it right away, you can just look it up, and it's right there. So stuff like that has really changed the industry, and not to take away from the old school cats and whatnot, because there's so much. We would have nothing without them, but there's a lot more. It's made easier as well for the younger kids and whatnot. Now, I've talked about not a lot of stuff, but quite a few different types of things, and I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it all interests me. I'm not really that interested in, show lighting and whatnot. I have friends that could sit for hours making awesome designs and brilliant things happen, and I respect it. I appreciate it. I don't know if I'm ever going to, pursue that. And DJing, that's something that I don't really have much interest in. I'd rather be in a band or something, but it's something that I respect. In this industry, if we don't have respect for what other people are doing, who's going to have respect for us? There's a place for everything here, and we need to see that, and we need to adapt to it, because people that are doing something in a completely different genre of life, we could probably take a lot from that and learn a lot from that ourselves, and we need to stay open-minded to that.